Good afternoon, all. Camelback Trading 2724 and the PitFuturesTrading.com. Coming to you this Wednesday afternoon, February 5th. We're looking at the market profile of the SPY ETF, and the bulls continue their relentless assault after yesterday's tremendous gap higher again today, which is it's still a nice size gap. Go out with a price spike. Did not go out with a price probe. However, right now, in the after hours, we're getting very close to making a new all-time high in the after hours. So we might be back to playing that game, which we played for so long, with each new high in the regular trading hours. We had a new one in the after hours. We'll see what happens, but right now we're pretty close to it. Volume, again, yesterday ended just below average. Today we're at 56 million. We're averaging 66, so we're going to probably be just below average again today. So not horrible, but not great. Very interesting how the balance rules work today, at least initially. It worked like a charm. We'll see about going forward tomorrow, and we're above the trend lines on both the weekly and the daily. As far as opportunities today, I had one call play in A period, which worked out very nice. I had another one in D after A, B, C drove down a bit, one time frame down, straight from the opening, but got into the gap, continually came right back into balance in D period when D couldn't take out, when you could see he wasn't going to take out A's low. Knew my out if we got below, got long in D, took it up. That was my second trade. It was nice. The only other trade I did is I finally faded. You could have faded the opening in FGIJ and did fairly well. I didn't do it. I was looking to fade a new high, which I did. Started very small when he took out A, added in K, and added a lot more in L, and then wrote him down. Turned out to be a good trade. One trade I didn't take, which looking back now was one to take, was H, which turns out to be the afternoon pullback low. The reason I did not take it there is because at that time, it was the POC. It made us 6 wide. And by the way, we only ended 8 wide. I thought there was a good chance we'd end up 9 wide. We never did as buyers took control above the opening. So to buy it here for me at POC, I didn't think was the thing to do, because I thought we were one time framing down, GH, thought I would have a chance to come down, maybe get down to around value low, get long there, and then take it back up. But never happened. H was the low, so whoever bought it there, that was a very nice trade. All right, destinations for tomorrow. Right now on the upside, one and only one, 333.09. Today's high and all-time high. Right now we have not taken it out yet in the after hours. For the downside, the first one will be A's high of 323.43, and that's where the price spike started. Remember, we make a new high or low in the day, basically in J, K, or L. I use it if you close above that level, it's the price spike. Close below it, price spike would be rejected. A new high or low in M period would be a price probe. We did not have that today, but we closed above A period, so that is a price spike, 332.43, first downside destination. Then you don't have anything to the afternoon pullback low, which is at 331.62, so 80 cents below. Below that, we don't have anything then to today's low, 330.67, and then filling the gap at 330.01, so it's a 66-point gap. Below that, we have the 10 wide from the 4th at 329.55, and then the daily low, 327.72, filling the large gap down to 326.16, 156-point gap from yesterday. So yes, the buyers have done a very nice job. Yes, we have 2 big gaps. But yes, we also have kind of a vacuum and a void, again, in price on the downside if this is to turn over at some point. Now, what could make it turn over? Well, let's go to the charts. Monthly. Never got to its trend line. Incredibly healthy. One time framing up 3 months, not even including this month with the gap. Long term, right now, in great shape on the SPY. Weekly. Got above the trend line today. So after one time framing down yesterday. Now, we're in a 6-week balance, or 7-week, including this. We got to the top of the balance today and stretched it by 14 cents. All right, balance rules. We'll go over them one more time because they're important. You get to the top of a balance, stretch it a little bit, come back in, and then rotate down. Get to the top of a balance, never get through it, and then rotate down. Or you get to the top of a balance, get through it, and don't look back. So last week was a perfect example of we got down to the bottom of a balance, didn't take it out, we missed it by like 11 cents, and we rotated straight up. Now, generally, we don't get $13 or $9 rotations. No, $13, right? We have a $13 rotation from last week's low to today's high. They usually don't happen that quick with that big a range. But that was a perfect way to see how a balance rule worked on the downside. Now, this time we did stretch it, right? But as of right now, we're below it by only 9 cents. So the jury is still out. Remember, one day does not make a market. We gap higher again tomorrow and don't look back, well, then we're above the balance, and that third alternative comes in where you go through a balance and don't look back. But I think the jury's still out on that. And then, sorry about that, daily. Right, we were battling between the trend line and the 50. Well, two major gaps have gotten us over it. So I do have the daily as up. Gaps are my main focus, but it's still like the weekly. We're still at now, even though it's up, I'm using it as up. It's still right at the top of the old balance that we had when we had the all-time high. Now, the two things, so there's a lot of things, a lot of forces at work here. Top of a balance, first time now we held it. So we have to see them all. That's number one. Number two, as far as the buyers are concerned, they want to stay above this trend line now, right? Getting above it one day is great. But like I said, one day doesn't make a market. Same in a weekly, we're above it. But again, let's see what happens by the end of the week. So I think we should have, today's Wednesday, by Friday's close, I think we should have a pretty good idea if we're going to be above today's high and starting a new leg up in the weekly above, right, our six-week balance high, or we're going to be firmly back into the weekly balance below this trend line again and then looking to fill these gaps. I think we should have a pretty good idea by Friday which way we're looking to go. Hope you had a great day trading. Have a great night, and we'll speak prior to the opening tomorrow.